Okay, here we are. So we'll start at the back of the yard so we can see the weeds in the yard and then our neighbor's yard. I ask you, what are we doing any differently than anybody else is doing? You see over there, see all those tall weeds by that pole over there, light pole over there? They don't get bothered. All these weeds along here. According to code enforcement, it should be their responsibility to trim all this. Well, we got 6 violations, as I've mentioned in other videos. One of the major ones he's talked about more on one occasion is all the weeds on the other side of our fence, out here by the road on our back lot. Okay. Well, look at all them weeds there where that gravel company owns. It goes from that sign all the way, all the way down, and I'll show you when we get over there. Between code enforcement and animal control, we're being made an example of. And I'm having all kinds of problems because of it. Constant anxiety, constant paranoia. I'm always looking out the door and out the window. Trying to hear a car door, I go outside. I'm having trouble at work. On days there where it's just me, I'm in the maintenance closet pacing back and forth, waiting for the restroom to open up so I can clean it. Pacing like a caged animal. One day I just collapsed in there and was just laying on top of the garbage can lid. I feel like I'm being victimized. Victimized by particular members of law enforcement in this town. Look at all these weeds here. They go clear down there to where the impound lot starts. And then there's a masonry place on the other side that has tall weeds. Okay, I could go that way, a block up, and show you someone who has their own personal junkyard. I'm not kidding. They got washing machines, they got all kinds of stuff stacked out in their yard. But my father-in-law's truck is a problem. All the mechanics' cars that he's working on across the street, parked in front of our fence, were a problem. But this person has their own personal junkyard. This place here, they have like Clydesdales out in their backyard. I'm not kidding. They have 3 or 4 of them at least. Animal control doesn't tell them they're only allowed 1 horse. But by the size of their property, that's the case. They've been pestering me for a year telling me I'm only allowed 1 goat. 1 goat. I ask you, who has 1 goat? Somebody who keeps it in a shed and is deciding to eat it. That's the case. Okay. I've had usually 3 or 4 different times for the last decade. Well, now we have 6 because the one little one that I purchased from a rancher, breeder, whatever on the other side of town, I didn't want her to feel left alone because my other goats weren't taken to her too well. So I got one of her siblings or cousins, and they're together. My 3 wethers are kind of jerks to them. I got them from a lady in a similar area in town over there a couple years back. Their family has since moved to Texas, and one of the mothers of one of those goats eventually died before that. I'm rambling. But see this? Code enforcement doesn't care about all these weeds over here in front of this gravel place, but they want us to trim that. They think we're in violation because of that. But since we're not a business like these people and we're not loaded with money, for some reason, we're an easier target. Got a dead raccoon here. Stay away from the raccoon, Jenner. Roadkill. The exact opposite of that would make more sense. You think they'd be willing to citation these guys because they can get more money from them. But no. Hi guys, there's my goats over there. But yeah, man. I think they're making a huge example out of us just because of those weeds and the weeds in our front yard. If you've seen the weeds in our neighbor's yard, you would probably agree with me. when you're looking at this business here that has them. Oh, another dead old dead roadkill raccoon. See, this town has huge raccoon problems. And animal control, one of their things is, oh, you're not allowed to have roosters. Well, who's going to protect your flock from raccoons if you don't have a big dog in the backyard? See, look at the weeds over here. Why doesn't code enforcement harass these people about these weeds? I'll tell you why. Because they're not us. We're not an easy target. We're not an easy target. I mean, they're not. We are. We're hillbillies, you know. Our place is a complete dive, and that's the reason that they keep harassing us. And I'm a little bit tired of it. A little bit tired of it, you know. So, and going by there. Anyway, here's what I was talking about right there. Weeds along that fence over there. They go all the way over to that building. Does code enforcement harass them about that? No, they do not. I'm going to take you some exercise here. Nobody's watching this video, and that's okay. I'm doing this to prove a point. I could go all around the neighborhood showing you so-called code violations compared to our property that nobody's being harassed about, except for us. Weeds along here. Do they tell them they have to trim those? No. Why? Because, well, that's a duplex, but because our property is a dump. And again, about the goats, we can go over there and see all their equine over there. They have horses, donkeys, burros, cows. That's just some of it. You know, they've got animals over there. Do they get harassed by animal control or code enforcement? No, they do not. They also have a rooster. Animal control doesn't care. They said, are you going to file a complaint against them? No. You know why? Because I'm not an asshole. I'm not going to ruin somebody's life over trivial nonsense. This is the end of town. It used to be. They're starting to develop everything up that way now, I guess. Well, somebody dumped a rooster over our fence 3 months ago. 3 months later, well, they dumped it over our neighbor's yard. And 2 days later, they threw it over our fence. And 3 months later, they're the ones who had the audacity to complain. So that rooster obviously had to go. That wasn't mine to begin with. It was mean. Had no spurs, but it would always attack everybody and the animals. But mine, I was 12 years old. 13 years old. I've had him for 12 years. He suddenly had to go. Because so-called complaints. The complaints weren't against mine. They were against the one that was in the cottonwood tree crowing at 2 a.m. all the time. See, here's our yard. Over there, their weeds are the same height. Do they get bothered? Do they have code enforcement saying they got to trim their weeds? No, they do not. Probably because we're on 2 lots. We're on 2 lots, so we're a bigger target. Now, since I chose to go around the block, the goats aren't going to shut up. I've already fed and watered them today. I wanted to let them out, but that guy's insistent, and I'm only allowed one. Good boy, Fatso. I'm only allowed 1 goat, but the farmer over there, they can have as many freaking horses and such as they want. You know, it's a relatively similar sized property. Now I'm gonna have to go out back and give the goats some apples. I gave them hay and apples this morning. Well, maybe just hay. I'll give them apples. Only carrying on because they saw me going around the block. But I could continue on here. One thing the code enforcement people I took a picture of. I'm not kidding. Our neighbor's weeds on the other side of the irrigation ditch, which have since been trimmed down by my mechanic friend across the street. Look at over here. Look at the ditch over here. Does code enforcement harass them? No, because they're fancier than me and have more money than me, most like everybody else. They're not bothering. They know this place is a dive, and they know I won't be able to afford to pay any fines. Now, I don't know if they're trying to get me put in jail so they get some kind of promotion or bonus or what. But, I did I've been doing what I could. I don't have a working weed eater. I don't have a working lawnmower. Okay? I can't get them going. They're older and dirt. They've sat. I fired up the weed eater a couple years ago. It worked. It worked one day. This is a few years ago when we had a similar situation. And the next day, it didn't. I had someone fix the mower for me, but I let it sit with gas in it, and it didn't work. See, here's Rooster, and then it didn't work. Well, anyway, it was crowing. Rooster on Center Street. Okay. Oh, but it's not a problem. There it goes again. But the one I had for 12 years, I had it for 12 years. It was a problem. Not until that stray got thrown over the fence. After 3 months of that, suddenly my rooster, my geriatric rooster, was also a problem. So he had to go. Meanwhile, the one on Center Street is crowing right now. Anyway, on a Sunday, Sunday, there's supposed to be a day to spend with your family. Sunday is technically, considered a Lord's Day or day of rest. Animal control came by to bother me when I had just gotten out of the shower last Sunday. Tell me the rooster had to go by Saturday. He's giving me till next Wednesday. No, I swear he showed up again too, didn't he? I swear he showed up again. I think he showed up on a Wednesday to tell me. Because last Sunday he came by to nab that stray rooster that had been doing all the crowing. Because the previous time he showed up was on a Wednesday afternoon or something, and they weren't able to catch it. I helped him wrangle the damn thing. It was hiding. I went up and over chicken coop a few times. He was going to give up. I went in the side shed next to the chicken coop. And I had a decent hiding place in there. I moved like this old timey radio that was rotting out, and I grabbed it. And he assured me it's going to a sanctuary farm, Salt Lake. But I think it's probably going to someone's dinner plate. Maybe his, who knows? I don't know. They don't have any proof unless they show me proof. You don't have to leave. I'm just walking this way. The deer over there? Someone come laying down or something, sitting up, standing up. You probably have to zoom in to see the deer. Well, tall weeds over there by that camper there. And code enforcement bother them? No, they do not. Weeds in their yard, same height as ours. Do they bother them? No, they do not. I mean, they're not super fancy people there. But compared to us, yes. Nearly everybody else is super fancy compared to us, though. This isn't the same town. I'm not kidding. I can go up and down the road in any direction and show you so-called code violations that nothing is being done about. But because we're such hicks, yeah, why not pour it all on us? He said he's not trying to ruin our lives or anything. He wants to help us out. He said something about getting a dumpster. I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks or so, but I've had animal control here twice since then. Twice. Okay. And I assumed he would come back today. That's why I didn't bother getting in the shower. Not yet, but the day is not over. And his shift is not over for another 3 hours. But I pulled a lot of this by hand. I'm not kidding. There was a lot of tall weeds here. I pulled a lot of this by hand. There's still a lot there. My goats have eaten some of it. And we had a similar situation a few years ago. I got an electric weed eater from Wally World, and it came apart in about 8 minutes. I've had people from the church come over and buzz all this down, rake up the leaves, blah, 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 do a dump run. I'm going to have it done again. We need some help, small farmers aren't really allowed in this town anymore. They're changing it. They're changing everything. New Orleans has popped up within the last 15 years, and even hell, they're changing stuff every day to appease the millionaires that are moving here from up that way. Because the billionaires have been chasing them out of there for about a decade or so. But now you got people coming in from the city and people coming in from California and are trying to fancy this town up, change everything, put sidewalks where there's no sidewalks, stick apartments and duplexes on farmland. That's been going on for quite a while now, probably 15 years or so. Any open space is getting grabbed up and developed. They're changing the ordinances. Small farmers are being pushed away. Big farmers are selling and moving out. We got a high school going up. I didn't get to go that way with the dog. We were going to go that way, but he went that way. High school going up on the corner there. My wife has 2 different cousins that have massive farmland out that way. One on her dad's side of the family and one on her mom's. I think the other one's on her mom's. But one of them gave up. I guess I don't know. Got it annexed. I don't know if that means the government. I mean, the government could take away your land if they want to, or if you want to voluntarily give them some to build a high school. Boom, there you go. I mean, there's a farmer off that way that gave up some land. I think he since passed on. He was an older gentleman, so they can put a new library and senior center there. And of course, after that, we ended up getting assisted living places and apartments all over the place that way. A lot of farmland out that way is gone. A lot of farmland out that way is gone. And it's happening up here now. The precious North Fields are going. There's a ski resort going up down there 40 by the light. And I could go away, and if I could zoom in and show you, they cut a long winding road in the mountains up there. Oh, it's so horrible. Ruin the scenery. And in that way, we're getting a college, a technical institute. So that road there is going to be busy. We're going to have buses going up and down that road. We're going to have sidewalks. We're going to have more code enforcement and more various other violations. You won't even be able to go for a walk that way. There'll be too much traffic. And hopefully they put a traffic light down there at the stop sign, because we've needed one there for a while now. They put one at 300 up there. Because there's an elementary school and a middle school that way, several blocks that way. See? We need a crosswalk there. We need a light. But this town used to have about between 5,000 and 7,000 people. Now we got upwards of 20,000. It was over 18,000, but I think it's more than that now. A couple, like 2 or 3 massive condos went up where there used to be like a logging place, big empty field. Bam. Part of the highway veers off there by the by the feed store. I was up there the other day. I'm like, when did this road get here? And she says, oh, it's a few months ago. And she told me about the mass quantities of chickens, mostly roosters, that are being thrown over the fence by her farmland up in the North Fields. Her family has farmland up there. People are just dumping roosters off there left and right. Code enforcement and animal control do anything about that? I think they're a little too strict with their rules around here now. I get closer to Main Street. Yeah, I get people shouldn't have roosters there where all the businesses are. Down this way, there used to be several of them. There used to be like 1 or 2 over there. There was farmers over there. There used to be one down there at the end of Center Street, but the lady got too old to farm, and her son or son-in-law, whoever, just show up and mow the lawn and do the irrigation. But they eventually sold the land because I think she died, and they split it. Half of it's a business and half of it someone bought and refurbished a house, and it looks terrible. It looks like a 1980s insurance place. Brick. It's ugly. And then you got the rooster on Center Street, and you had one here 43 years on this property, my wife has always had roosters. Her family has always had them. And because it was stray, we're suddenly not allowed to have them. One guy said the code enforcement went into effect in 2009, and a week and a half later, the other guy said 2002. It's like they can't make up their mind. They can't make up their mind how to screw you over. Well, there was roosters here back in 2002. My father-in-law was still alive. Heck, he was still alive in 2009, 2012 even. 11 or 12. But it's ridiculous. And this truck is not on the road. It's not in the way. Hopefully I didn't record the whole license plate there, but it's defunct. But one of our stipulations was this had to go. It's nowhere near the road. It's back in the driveway. I gotta move this hay before they complain about the hay, too. How much hay did she bring me? Holy crap, there's 6 bales here. I need a tarp. Oh, Monty, you are a saint. God bless you. 6 bales. Holy crap. See, they made a mess here in the driveway. I gotta get new wheels on my dolly and put that out back, or else I'm gonna get in trouble about that now. I'm not kidding. Slid an envelope in the door. $50 says, guys, some hay. Happy Thanksgiving. I thought that's what the 50 was for. She bought 6 bales of hay. 6 bales of hay. If they take my goats away now, it'll be a travesty. I'll have one goat to give all the hay to. It'll last me like 2 years. Anyway, I don't even know if this video is going to work. It's probably choppy since I'm back at the house. Sorry, I had to check something. I don't know if this video is going to work. It's probably choppy, and since I'm back at the house, connection. I don't have the Wi-Fi on, though. I have the mobile data on. Steelers won today. I was doing some stream hopping, watching the second half of that. They were ahead 17-16 when I hopped on, and they kept turning off the live streams and muting them and a picture, and then eventually. But then, meanwhile on TV we had the 49ers and the Jaguars, and San Fran was pummeling them. So they switched over. Fox switched over to an all AFC game. There was no NFC team there. It was the Ravens and Ravens and Browns. And then it was close. It was a 7-point game. And the Ravens took a 2-touchdown lead. And Cleveland miraculously got a touchdown and another one, an interception return, but then the point got blocked. And then somehow, some way, they got the ball back and kicked the winning field goal. 3 seconds left. I turned the audio on the TV during the field goal, and it was in Spanish. So I don't know. I don't know where they got, from Mexico. I don't know if it was an official Fox broadcast or what. And after that, I immediately switched over to the start of the Giants and the Cowboys. I turned the TV off and took that fat little dog you saw earlier for a walk. I want to go around the neighborhood and show you all these places where they have tall weeds, just to show you that we're not the only, trailer trash in this town. We're not trailer. I mean, I lived in a trailer for 20-something years, but 17 in a different state. It's cute, the young couple playing with their toddler there. People were adorable. I think they're playing hide and seek or peekaboo around the storage unit. That's so cute. I miss playing with my son when he was little. He's 18 now. Of course, my son is autistic, and he was difficult. He's still difficult, but man, he was a cute little toddler. Holy crap. Throw stuff all the time, yell. The deer is still over there. That one's looking at me. I don't know if you can see it. There's a dove just landed behind it. Another one, another deer there by the unit. Anyway, I tried to check and see what the afternoon CBS game was, and having trouble with the antenna. So anyway, I turned off the TV. First play of the game, the Cowboys and Giants, blah, blah, blah. Went for that walk around the block. The goats were being noisy. I thought, well, Now I'm gonna have to feed them again. I already fed them. But I got a couple bags of apples here. See, I got some people that are helping us out. There's two different couples that bring us apples. One from church, and the other one also. But mostly they used to work on the furnace here when my father-in-law was alive. And the guy over there working on his camping trailer. The one guy that lives there, they got a bunch of big like corral type gate things from scaffolding or whatever, and they want to haul them over here and help us build a goat corral across the whole backyard and let them just roam around. Unfortunately, they'll wipe out the trees, but I got to get something to protect the apple trees. The plum trees, I guess, oh well, we have plum trees out front too, but we'll figure something out. I got to get that petition notarized, handed in. There's a cat. That's not ours. It's gray and white. We have a black one and an orange one out here. This might be the offspring of a cat we used to have living in our garage that he carted off to a animal charity adoption place. She was pregnant at the time. That could be one of her previous offspring. She was churning out 3 litters of kittens a year. Poor girl, I don't know if she's still alive. She was 6 years old at the time. This was a good 8 years ago or so. Her mother, Pumpkin, was 13. I found her dead in an irrigation pipe over here. Around Thanksgiving time in 2016. I cannot believe that was 7 years ago. She's buried over here. My hen, Barbie, one of my favorite hens, buried somewhere in this vicinity here. I can't remember exactly where. She got killed by a raccoon. By the time I got into the chick coop, it was too late. It was overnight sometime. My sister-in-law's Cocker Spaniel, Angel, was buried there. Pumpkin was buried right over there. The cat, orange tabby cat. Her daughter, Bear, got stolen. Brown house over there. People no longer live there. Saw her meowing at me for help a couple of times. Nobody wanted to go get her. I wanted to, but I don't know how she ended up in that house. Other than the people moved away. I really don't know how she ended up. She was a wandering nomad. Somebody was caring for her, though, but because I noticed one day she was clean. But then another time she had butt worms. She was like 12 at the time. Last I saw her. Hope she lived a good life. Don't know if she's still alive. No, she wasn't 12 at the time. She was 12 when her mom died. She was about 8 last time I saw her. Bear. Tortoiseshell color cat, kind of, black and brown. I do a lot of rambling. Nobody's here. I haven't put a Cash App up. But let's do it now. I'm on here rambling. You see this video later, you're bored enough to sit through the whole thing. We have until November 28th, I believe, or 30th to pay $5,700 in property taxes before the next one gets added to it. They might give us an extension in March, or they might sell the place off, leave us homeless with what's left of our farm, if I'm allowed to even have it anymore, and my pets, which we cannot live in this car. My wife and son cannot live in this car. I mean, if I died, boom, life insurance kicks in. Yeah. But that won't happen before the end of the month. And if I keel over dead, the government might take care of those too. Maybe. Assisted living, but they wouldn't be allowed to have their pets probably. And of course, the farm would probably all go to someone's dinner plate, which I am not looking forward to. I don't want that to happen. They deserve to have life. Not all livestock needs to be someone's food. Maybe that's the goal behind me only having one goat. Maybe that's what they want. I don't know. You've seen the volume of food that gets wasted in grocery stores. I work for a big box retailer. You wouldn't believe the stuff they throw in the compactor, how much food gets thrown away. A lot of farm animals get slaughtered for nothing. Nothing. They die for absolutely no reason. Remains end up thrown in grocery store compactors. It's disgusting. All right, I'm going to go. I don't even know how much of this video worked. I don't know if the connection's choppy. I don't know if anybody even cares. But make the most of your day. Live your life. Try to help as many people as you can. Please do. Honestly. Love thy neighbor actually should mean something. Not screw thy neighbor over and call, so-and-so on them every time somebody farts in the wind. Think about that. Have a good afternoon or evening or overnight or whenever you watch this. Peace.